All right, fantasy managers, welcome. Today, we are diving headfirst into the most exciting, most nerve-wracking, and honestly, the most important part of any fantasy cricket season, the draft. This is going to be your complete guide to the entire Cricket Battle draft process, from the prep all the way to that final game-changing pick.
Because let's be real, that's the whole point, isn't it? To build a squad that just dominates your league from the very first ball. And the foundation for that championship run? It's all built right here in the draft. So let's get you ready to win.
Okay, so first things first, what exactly is a draft league? It all comes down to turn-based selection. You and everyone else in your league take turns picking players, one by one, until your rosters are full. That's it. Once the season starts, everything else plays out just like a normal league. The draft is simply that special, crucial process for building your team from scratch.
Now, inside Cricket Battle, you've got two totally different ways you can run your draft. Let's break down exactly how each of them works.
First up, you've got the offline draft. You know, this is the classic social experience, getting all your friends together, maybe ordering some food, and making your picks in person around a table. Then, someone manually enters all the picks into the system. On the flip side, you have the online draft. This is a fast-paced, real-time event where everybody logs into a digital, live draft room to make their picks against the clock.
But here's the thing. It doesn't matter which draft you're in. Your success starts way before the first player is even picked. And that all comes down to your secret weapon, your pre-draft list.
So what is this list? Simple. Think of it as your personal cheat sheet. Before all the pressure of the draft clock starts ticking, you get to sit down, take your time, and rank every single player you're interested in. You're creating your own prioritized roadmap for who you want on your team.
And trust me, having this list is absolutely vital. It stops you from making those panicked, last-second decisions when the player you wanted gets sniped one pick before you. It makes your selection so much faster, but maybe most importantly, if you get disconnected or just miss your turn, the system uses this list to make an intelligent auto-pick for you. It is the ultimate safety net.
All right, your prep is done. It's draft day. The time has come. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how you actually execute your draft and build that team.
Now, the vast majority of leagues use a very specific format to keep everything fair and balanced for everyone involved. It's called the snake draft.
And this shows you exactly how it works. And it's pretty clever. So in round one, the order is straightforward. Team A, then B, then C, then D. But here's the twist. In round two, the order completely reverses, or snakes back. Team D picks first, then C, B, and A. This makes sure that the person with the last pick in the first round doesn't get stuck at the end of every single round. It keeps things fair.
Now, while the snake draft is by far the most popular, you do have other options. There's a fixed order, which means it's the same A, B, C, D order every single round. It's a bit less common. And for some really specialized leagues, the league manager can actually go in and set a completely custom order for the entire draft. Okay, so let's zoom in on that online experience. When the draft officially kicks off, everything, and I mean everything, unfolds inside the live draft room. This is your command center for the next hour or so. And in that command center, you are on the clock. You'll usually have a set amount of time for every pick, maybe 90 seconds to make your move. You can feel the pressure building already, right? Okay, listen up, because if you only take away one single thing about online drafts, please let it be this. Do not wait until the last few seconds to make your pick. I'm serious, this is a non-negotiable rule for success. And here's exactly why. First, the clock on your screen might be just a fraction of a second different from the official server clock. Second, a tiny bit of network lag could mean your pick doesn't register instantly. If either of those things happens, the system might see your time is up and auto-pick for you just before your real choice goes through. So what's the best practice? Lock in your pick with at least 20 seconds to spare. Don't risk it.
Okay, so you know the flow of the draft. Now let's get into some pro tips and talk about the special controls you can use to really gain an edge. So a lot of leagues have what are called role constraints to make sure everyone builds a balanced team. For example, you might have to draft, say, 2 batsmen and 2 bowlers with your first 4 picks. You have to fill these required slots before you can just draft anyone you want. So make sure you know your league-specific rules on this.
You've also got some special controls during the draft. As a team manager, you get a limited number of holds. Think of it as a personal timeout button to give you extra time on a really tough pick. Now the league manager,
They have the superpowers. They can pause the entire draft if people need a break, or even reset it if something goes horribly wrong.
Now for a huge warning, and this one is especially for you league managers out there. You have got to make sure your draft rules don't conflict with your regular season rules. For example, you can't force managers to draft 2 wicket-keepers if your season roster only allows for 1. That creates an impossible situation. Always double-check this before the draft begins.
And before the big day, please don't forget to use the mock draft feature. It is a totally consequence-free practice run. It's where you can test out your strategies, get a feel for the timer, and learn the interface. Seriously, there is absolutely no reason to go into your real draft cold.
So, after all that planning, all the tension, and all the picks, you've made it. Your roster is finally complete. So, what happens now? And why was that whole process so important?
Well, this is what makes drafting so amazing. Every single player is unique. They can only be on one team in the entire league. That scarcity forces you to constantly adapt your strategy on the fly. The draft is where all your preparation meets real-time decision-making, making it the most strategic, the most social, and honestly, the most fun part of the entire fantasy season.
You now have the full playbook for mastering the cricket battle draft. You know how to prep, you know how to execute, and you know all the tools at your disposal. So the only question left is, what's going to be your winning move?